So a lot of people think that they're poor because they don't make enough money, but I don't believe that. I think the main reason is because they're getting robbed quietly, legally, and over time consistently. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you all the ways you may be getting robbed and what to actually do about it so you can actually stop it and you can start building up some wealth. Now, number one, guys, is actually gonna be you may be getting robbed with the wrong incentives when it comes to credit. If you notice, okay, everyone is worried about building credit and spending money on credit cards and then paying it off and all this stuff. And you kind of assume that the system has your best benefit in mind. But the truth is, the system does not care about you building wealth, because the only way to actually have a credit score is going to be by having some form of wealth. Because what they want to track is reliability when it comes to making payments. They don't care about tracking how much wealth you have, if you're building wealth effectively. That's not what it's all about. So it has all the wrong incentives. So here's what I personally focus on. Instead of focusing on my credit, I focus on my net worth. All right. So how many assets do I have? If I owe any money, minus that, that's going to be my net worth. And I want to see that number steadily but surely climbing. You see people out there that have a 700 credit score and they have no money in the bank. They feel like they're very responsible, but they have no money, no cash whatsoever. Do not focus on building credit. Focus on building up your net worth. Now, number two is not being an owner of things. I feel like everyone these days, everyone has a lot of stuff, definitely more stuff than people had before, but no one owns any of the stuff. Think about it, okay? Who do you know that actually owns their house? I mean, no mortgage, no nothing, just owns it right out. What about their phones? Most people have some type of phone plan and they're slowly but surely paying off their phone. What about their cars? People drive luxury vehicles on 5 years to 7 year notes. And even that, okay? Even the shows that we watch, it used to be that people had DVDs and libraries and stuff like that. People don't own those things either. They just get a license. The whole society, the whole system in a way, points towards you not owning anything. And when you don't have ownership, you don't have control. And if they raise the price, you just gotta basically eat it up and basically pay whatever price they're basically asking you. So what I've learned is I wanna work on owning all the things I have. And that can basically start by just, hey, owning my phone. This phone is just $50. Well, $60 I paid for this iPhone 11. I also have this 15 Pro Max, and I own all of these phones outright. If you're wondering, Tommy, why do you own all these phones? Because I'm reselling right now. I'm back in that game. If you want to know how to resell, I'll leave a video down below so you know exactly how I do it. But the whole idea is focus on ownership. I want to focus on buying a house I can own as quickly as possible. Buying a car I can afford to pay for in cash. And that way, whenever I get paid, my money is not going towards a whole bunch of payments. That's what makes you poor. That's what drains you, because you get paid, then all the money is just magically gone all of a sudden. Now, number three is going to be inflation. The system tells you focus on saving money, all right? Save your money. My mom always told me that, all right? You gotta save money, save money, save money. But you know what the problem is? If all you do is save money and then the government goes ahead and prints more money, well, because there's more money out there, now your money becomes less valuable. You lose what you call purchasing power. It's why it used to be that your grandma, my grandma, with $10, they could pay rent and buy groceries for the month. But now with $10, I can't even buy a bag of chips anymore. That's the whole idea, you see? So what you want to do is you want to put your money into things that store wealth or that build wealth, or maybe both, okay? That might mean, for you, might mean stocks, might mean property, might mean businesses, might be gold, might be precious metals, might be, for example, people don't think about this, but it might also be buying the things you need in bulk. So if you know you're gonna need to buy a whole bunch of groceries, if you buy all your groceries for an entire year and you know how to store food, well, you bought it, that money is protected. If the prices go up, that doesn't matter to you because you already paid your price. Now, number four is going to be taxes. Taxes, people always say, taxes rob me. I get paid and then I have no money. I got to spend all this money and give it to Uncle Sam. The truth is, you have to understand the system while we have the system. Whether we want to work on changing the tax code and then getting taxes to be lower, great, great, great. I 100% agree. However, though, in the meantime, you have to understand how this current system works so you can actually defend yourself. Instead of making all of your money from active income, you might want to consider putting some of your money into passive income streams. That way you pay less taxes. Understanding some of the tax codes and knowing how to maximize all of your savings. You know, no one is going to give you like an honorary award for saying, I pay all my taxes. I don't worry about saving any money on taxes. You should worry about that. And you should try to save and maximize as much money as possible. Because the last time I checked, I don't see a lot of efficiency and how to spend money anyway. So I'd rather have my money in my pocket to do exactly what I want to do with it, all right? So that's the idea. You want to learn how taxes work, and you can do that simply by getting some books or ask ChatGPT. Now, a great book that I recommend is called The Alpha Strategy by John Pugsley, and that's a great book when it comes to understanding like the system. And also, you can read The Law by Frederick Bastiat, which is also a good book when it comes to understanding the economy and taxes and all that other fun stuff that no one likes to talk about. Now, number 5 is going to be lifestyle inflation. I remember being broke, making $8 an hour, then getting a raise for $8.75 an hour, still broke, then making $10 an hour, still broke. And what I realize is it's not about the amount of money I'm getting paid. It's really that no matter how much money I get paid, I just spend all the money on garbage. My expenses just keep going up. And that's how I kept staying poor. So what do you do instead, okay? What I started to do basically was I set up a budget where I had basically my core expenses, you know, like shelter, utilities, groceries, transportation, like my core ones that I could not negotiate. And I would pay for those things. And then any money that I would get above that, I would save it up to invest it and to put it into assets to make me more money. Is it wrong to have money in a savings accounts? Of course not. I have my emergency fund in there and I have money that I may need for immediate use in there. But just leaving your money in there, like one of my friends, he had a CD account. He was like, I just put my money in a CD, you know, and I can just break it whenever I want it. And I'm like, that's not a good idea because when you break it, you got to pay a fee. And then what you're actually making doesn't really help you because you're losing a whole bunch of value to inflation. I hope he changes his mind, but I just don't know. But a great book when it comes to like controlling your expenses is going to be Your Money or Your Life by Vicky. And you have to be careful, all right? Especially when you surround yourself around people that spend money. You might not want to spend money, but if everyone around you is doing it, and justifying it, before you know it, you're also going to be doing the same. That's why for a long time, my best friends were people I didn't even know in real life. They were all in books, on YouTube, and everywhere else because they were the only people that saw things the way I saw things and they wanted to achieve the same things I wanted to achieve or had already achieved it, okay? Like financial freedom and so on. Now, number 6, guys, and the biggest thing that keeps people poor is everyone tends to be looking for this big action that leads to this big reward. And you want to watch out for this. It means I'm going to invest all this money and I'm going to make all this money. You know, like putting money into lottery tickets, putting all your money on black, putting all your money on Bitcoin, putting all your money in this one stock. And we all have this idea that what if it's the next Apple? What if it blows up? What if it does this? What if it does that? All right. And my idea is no, getting rich is all about consistency. It's you consistently learning how to manage the money you actually have and then learning how to invest that money correctly to make you more money. I had friends that I would tell them, this is how I invest. And they would say, that's just boring. Just putting your money into the S&P 500, that's so boring and just, I don't want to do it. And then they would try all these things and they would put all their money and all their savings and then they had to start over and over and over again. And I'm not sure where they are now because we don't talk that often anymore. But my advice would be try to build wealth consistently. Things that last usually take a while to build up. That's what I've learned. And that's how you stay away from being poor and from getting robbed.